Hello again, my friends, and not only are we trying something new, but we're on take two. I've managed to forget to add a audio source to this new scene here, and I recorded a whole video without a single word of audio. But we're going to call this the good, the bad, and the ugly. We're going to start with something good, we're going to move to something bad, and then we're going to talk about something even worse. So first in good, Tomb Raider has put back the pinups of Lara Croft. Last week, patch 2 removed the pinups of Lara Croft when it applied a texture update. Now the developer Asper has claimed that this was an inadvertent removal and these will be replaced in patch 3. Whether or not it was actually an accident, realistically it is a perceivably possible accident. When you're dealing with that kind of technical stuff, it is possible when you're overlaying a new texture over an old texture, you cover something up and you don't realize it because that's not what you're looking for, and then some sharp-eyed gamer down the road finds it and yells at you. Or they could have been trying to sneak by some censorship. We don't know. But on the plus side, they listened and they put it back. That is what is important. And it is important to encourage developers to listen when they are given criticism. They did apologize, they put it back. They're the posters in Sleeping with the Fishes, The Lost Artifact, for those of you who are wondering where you were supposed to look. And now on to the bad. Bait and switch is the theme of the conversation here. We were given the Stellar Blade demo, and it was a very exciting demo for many people. They fell in love with the design, they fell in love with the gameplay, and then you get the patched game on day one. And they've changed things. Now, to some people, what they've changed may seem relatively minor. A few inches of fabric here, a little removal of gore there. And so what? You still have a sexy woman. Doesn't change that we were lied to. It doesn't. Now, the discussion is then up to who set up the lie. Well, the director of Stellar Blade has gone on record stating multiple times that the product we received is the product they meant to give us. I have a theory that the original product was in fact the demo. Sony stepped in and said, no, we aren't doing that. And because it was so early in the process, this was before it went to the censors, got through the censors without any censoring because they added the extra fabric. And that was the uncensored report that they gave to everybody at that point. Because of a lack of clear communication, people thought what they were going to get was what they saw in the demo. People are now righteously angry that what they're getting wasn't what they were given in the demo. Now you have a bunch of people out there trying to say, oh, you just wanted the sexy stuff. No, I mean, yeah, yes, okay, yes. Did want the sexy stuff because that's what we were offered. That's what we were shown. It's like showing me a picture of this really nice hotel room, and then what I get is 2 beds and a sink. Not quite the same, yes, it's still a hotel room, but it's not what I paid for. It's bait and switch. There's a lot of discussion on who to blame. There are people who are blaming solely Sony and saying that it's all Sony's fault. There are people who blame Shift Up. Honestly, I blame both. In my opinion, Shift Up should have been more upfront, honest. If the end result was in fact what we were given on day one, then that's what should have been in the demo, because that's what a demo is for, is to show people what's going to be in the game so that they can decide if they want the game. The demo is not supposed to be a lying advertisement. But that doesn't mean Stellar Blade isn't in some way a win. That's why this is only the bad and not the ugly. Stellar Blade still gives us an amazingly attractive, strong character, female character, in a game that people are having a lot of fun playing with good mechanics. I haven't heard too much about the story, so I can't even say if it's a good story. But I know people are enjoying the mechanics. I know people are enjoying the visuals, and people are having fun with it. While I don't condone bait and switch tactics, I do condone giving people good games. I think that gamers as a whole are currently handling this correctly. They were given a product. They were given a demo. They are petitioning. They are calling. They are canceling with the most likely culprit of censorship. And they are making their displeasure for the lie known. So no matter who lied, there is a loud voice rising from the gamers saying literally, we're not happy with this. And that is what is important, is showing these companies that we're not just going to sit back and take their bullshit, and we're going to do something about it. That said, we're going to go ahead and move to the ugly. Now, what you might ask could possibly be uglier than the bait and switch of Stellar Blade. The outright greed of Battlestate Games. When Battlestate Games put out their early release game, Escape from Tarkov, there was a level of purchase, Edge of Darkness, that they specifically told people, you buy this, you pay the money for this, and we will give you all the DLC that this game gets. Last week, they decided they're going to release a PvE mode. In order to obtain this PvE mode, however, you now have to pay $250 for the Unheard Edition. There is no way that you can justify adding a new mode to the game and not call that a DLC. That is the very definition of DLC. Unless you are making an entirely separate game, it is literally a DLC. Now, I don't play Escape from Tarkov. I've heard a lot of things about bots and cheating and blah, blah, blah. I am not a big first-person shooter person in the first place, but I do know people who have played it, and I do know people who've had a lot of fun with it, and I do know people who have invested money in it in terms of buying things like The Edge of Darkness. There is no way they should have to pay another $250, especially when they've been promised that any downloadable content, DLC, that is added to the game in the future, they will have. Now, to make up for this, Battlestate Games has graciously said that when the game releases, people with Edge of Darkness will then get access to PvE. Well, that could be years down the line. So anybody who wants to deal with it and wants to play it now would, of course, have to pay the $250. No one wants to pay $250. Well, I take that back because scrolling through the comments to ensure that I had the correct research for this part of the video, there are, in fact, people who've complained about this that have gone ahead and bought, I think I've just been saying The Edge of Darkness repeatedly. The name of this DLC they're trying to pass off is not DLC, is the Unheard Edition. And there are people who bought it despite knowing that they're just being screwed over. It is absolutely ridiculous what some games think that they should be able to get away with when it comes to players. I don't have really a huge problem with certain types of monetization when it comes to gaming. I don't have any problems with them selling cosmetics. To a limited degree, I don't even have a problem with a lot of microtransactions, as long as they're not pay to win in an MMO, and as long as if it's in a single player game, there is a way in the game for me to achieve the same thing in a reasonable amount of grinding on my own. That said, I know a lot of people hate both of those things no matter what, period. I know that there's a lot of development behind these things that takes a lot of money, and the more money they can get, the more they can do that stuff. It's not like the government where you just feed them money and they, you know what, we won't get into that. Battlestate Games have decided that their customer base is nothing but a bunch of cash cows, and they are trying to milk them mercilessly. Those nipples are starting to hurt, my friends. It is an unfortunate and ugly state of events. Quick recap. The good Lara Croft pinup posters put back in the game after the developer listens and fixes their supposedly inadvertent patch out with a new patch. The bad, Stellar Blade commits bait and switch, and gamers are, of course, completely angry. And the ugly, Tarkov tries to milk its player base like a bunch of dairy cows and receives a kick in the head. Hopefully a really hard one. I doubt it'll fix anything, but it's worth a shot. So there's our quick little rundown. Please let me know what you think of any of this in the comments. Let me know what you think of this new format. Let me know if you think it should be a weekly thing, or if you hate it, whatever it is. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. If you really liked it, you can feel free to share it around, and I will catch you later.